Hello, this is Ruth Ann of Over the Bar Instruction. How are you today? This is Basic Training 3, Adding Audio with Audacity. There's an age-old question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? From a biblical perspective, we would probably agree that the chicken came first. But theology and philosophy aside, it really doesn't matter. They both exist. The same is true of the components in your podcast. Whether you prepare the audio to match the animations or the animations to match the audio doesn't really matter. They both have to exist and they have to work together. I prepare my audio first because that makes the most sense to me. If you have some incredible sense of timing that allows you to work the other direction, feel free. We're simply teaching a way to do this, not the only way. The only given is that you should have your PowerPoint slides complete before you begin either. You may be the type of instructor who can wing it, so to speak, and discuss your topics with no notes at all, and do so quite eloquently. Others will follow a topical outline of some sort, while still others will write out a script word for word. However you plan your audio is entirely up to you. We've included the link for a free download of Audacity on your training page. Once you have it loaded onto your computer, your interface will look like this. Let's work through the series of control buttons you'll use most often. Basically, they work just like a DVD player with buttons for pause, play, stop, rewind, fast forward, and record. When you click the record button and begin talking into your microphone, you'll see an audio track appear with the familiar frequency display. This is what "Hello, this is Ruth Ann. How are you today?" looks like on the audio track. Notice the timing bar that looks like a ruler bar on most Microsoft applications. It tracks the pace of your speech in seconds, so you have very precise control over the sounds when you manipulate them. We recommend you have a headset with a sound canceling mic, but this is not absolutely necessary since you can diminish background noise easily with the features in Audacity. It may, however, create less work for you to make the $15 purchase at Walmart. I barely use anything on the menu bars when producing these audio tracks. However, you might decide to play with the sounds more than I do. The only thing I use is File, New, to begin a new track, and File, Export, to save the track by a unique name as an MP3 file in my file system. You can manipulate MP3 files in Audacity, so there's no real need to keep both an Audacity file and an MP3 file. Once I do export into my own file system, then I'm ready to import those files into my PowerPoint. We'll cover that later, though. The same editing functions you would use in PowerPoint or Word will work in Audacity. Instead of working with text, though, you're working with frequencies. They copy and paste using Control-C and Control-V, and cut using Control-X. You can use your delete button as well. All these features are available on the Edit menu along with the usual undo features, but they work the same way any other application works. Todd briefly mentioned the Effect menu in his overview. The two main things you might consider using here are the Amplify and Leveler features. Obviously, amplifying means you make it louder. For the leveler, you'll use a flat line dead space by clicking and dragging across it to get a baseline for any background noise. Then Audacity will allow you to erase those sounds from the rest of the track. Again, I really don't think you'll even need those features, but it's nice to know they exist. Sharing this page almost feels silly because it's so simple. If you want to delete a segment, like an or a cough or a dog barking, it may be loud enough to have given you a red section to alert you. You can obviously find those, but you may have to listen for the quiet ums or lip smacking that bugs you. Once you've identified the offending noise, click and drag across it and hit the delete button. It really is that simple. Oh, it won't work while you're playing the recording. You have to hit stop first. As you time your audio with your PowerPoint, you may remember to note the timing bar. Whether you print out your slides and write times on each piece you plan to animate or just wing it matters little. This part will make more sense, by the way, after you learn about animations in the next training session. For scripting your audio tracks, do what you're comfortable with. Todd's the bullet guy, remember. He thinks in concepts and broad strokes. I, on the other hand, get bogged down in minute details and need to type out every word or bold print or all caps, whatever I want to emphasize. You get to decide for yourself what works best. Figure out how you speak most fluently and avoid the most fillers, and work with that method. This is really a cool feature in Audacity. If I record and then decide I want to add something, I can click in the soundtrack where I want to add my insertion. Then I hit the record button and record a second track that will appear beneath the first one. After that, a simple click and drag across the extra segment with a Control X to cut it will allow me to click the spot I want it to go into in the original or top soundtrack. Click there and Control V will paste it into the new track. Then I can just use the close button, the little X, like the close button on any other application software, is in the top left corner of the second track. Delete that track, and then I have one smooth track with the insertion. I went from, hello, this is Ruth Ann, how are you today? And added a second track of over-the-bar instruction, and then cut and pasted it into the middle of the original track. Now my track says, hello, this is Ruth Ann of over-the-bar instruction. How are you today? Play around with these features. This program is very powerful, yet you only need a few of its tools. We'll show you how to sync the audio with your PowerPoint animations in our next training. But before you watch that recording, take a moment to view the link we've provided beneath this video to get a look at how powerful Audacity actually is. Every picture you see on the video represents a different audio track on a program very much like Audacity. Every sound comes from the same guy, simply recording multiple tracks and playing them simultaneously. Thank you again for taking this journey with us at Over the Bar Instruction.